Okay, so my question to you, James, is when you have your client, what is the first program that you offer?
So I first try to get information from them first to determine if it will be better to go for a podcast, to pitch them to Forbes, or to go with a press release. So given the information that I already know, then that's when I offer the package, but it will be on those three. So either a podcast, tour, earned media, which will be getting you pitched to top tier publications or mid tier publications, and press releases. So usually if it's someone that's announcing a new service or a new company, new website, they have an announcement to do. So I tell them to go with a press release. Um, Also, if you want to take control of that first page of Google, when somebody Googles you, if that's something that you want to work on, also a press release on a mid-tier article can be very beneficial. So that's how um, I'll go about what I offer to people.
Okay, okay, good. I probably want to learn more about it, but I will go ahead and move on. So James, who do you want to ask a question next?
Um, I'll ask the question to um, Eddie. If are you available on camera? That's like my first question. Oh,
There's Eddie. Okay.
hey, so my question is, um, what would you pay $2,000 without blinking an eye? Like, what would that be? You like, I'll pay $2,000 for this any day, like without even hesitation. What would that be? I can hear you.
You're
Just
on a mute.
Click one button, need to click two. So I did an OJ Simpson thing when I was running through the airport one time, and they were calling me on the airport, said, "Page you, Mr. Godchalk, pay Mr. Godchalk." Because I bought a house, no money down, 4-bedroom, 2-bath for like 200. At settlement, I made $57,000. So I was running through the airport. Hey, I'm Mr. Godchalk. I'm Mr. Godchalk. And so in a heartbeat, I signed my signature, and the broker had to drive to San Francisco Airport to page me because I forgot to sign the contract. So that's sort of a funny story of the answer. So the answer is if I'm going to spend $5,000 in a settlement down payment, and 2 weeks later I'm gonna make for 52,000 or something like that. And it was sort of funny that 2 days later I went to the settlement check and the First American Title and said, "Hey, I got a check for you, Mr. Gottschalk," and there's a nice check. So there's ways to buy real estate and make money. The right way to do it is at the contract side instead of wait 2 years. So I'll give you my 2,000 as long as you give me 2,000 plus back in 10 days or less.
Awesome. All right, Eddie. Who is your next person?
So I was late because I lost the Zoom link. Who hasn't gone?
We have Justin, John, and Jessica.
Jessica. I gotta figure out something complicated for you because you got these easy things.
How am I known for this?
I
It's
know.
just here.
So this is actually not a bad question. What is your first and second color if you were to build a website, and why do you like it, and why do you think your customer might like it?
Easy, so easy. I think it's funny because
I don't know
I
the
actually
answer.
think
Okay.
I know, but I think I actually talked about this on Friday, so it's kind of like, oh, a pickup. Well, my branding colors, I know you didn't ask that, but my branding colors are like it's like a seafoam blue, green, light blue, green color, and then gold. And the seafoam green, blue color is like kind of the same color they use in memory care and healthcare facilities and stuff, because it stimulates memory and safety, and people feel uncomfortable. So it's kind of like just one of those colors that if you notice, if you ever walk into one of those places, you'll notice there's a lot of that color. And then gold is kind of just like the quality experience I want people to feel about like working with me or the experience I create with them. So it's not just a one-off kind of service, but it actually has some quality depth to it. So I think that was the answer. I think you had two questions, but let me know if I missed something.
Awesome. All right, Jessica.
No? Okay. Marie, isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm still cracking up that I made a name for myself with my question style.
I know. Well, people
but
remember it, so it's a
I
good
guess
thing.
so.
Yes,
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
yes, it is a good thing.
So let's see.
Well, you know,
John, so go ahead.
with your question, it's like it really gets into the character, revealing more of the character of the person, which is really good. But again, it's a matter of the comfort, because now the people here already knows you, so it's
Well,
good.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This is a different. Yeah, this is a.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, with that note, I don't want to. My question would. So John hasn't gone yet, right? John hasn't gone. And
John
Justin.
and James and Justin. Oh, I already
I thought-
asked James. I already asked James. It's just
Yeah, I thought I walked in. Okay. That's all right. Well, I was gonna. I'll go with John. So John, my question for you is, what is a unique way your brand could, if your brand could position itself to have part of your funds, like when all the funding and everything goes through, and now you have play money, what is a for-profit or nonprofit organization you would want to partner with, and why?
That's a very, very hard question.
It's actually a really
man,
good question, though. It's a good question because it makes you really think.
Hmm.
That's the kind of question we should be really dealing with here.
Yeah, that's a really tough question.
Well, if you need me to try to coax it out a
All
little,
right, I can answer it. I
reframe
can
it.
answer it.
Okay.
He's up for the challenge.
I've
Okay.
done work for the UN during
Hmm.
disaster response, because
Hmm.
I've done a lot of disaster response work over the last 10 or 12 years. I would love it if I could figure out how to work with the UN for virtual badge.
Wow.
Let's go.
That'd be a good
All
one,
right.
John. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, we want to see that happen, John.
You know what? Actually, I don't. A step below. A step below the UN, but related because it is a global. Someone just let me know about. There is something more local that could also like be a step towards the UN, if not that. And it's not coming to mind, unfortunately. It should be coming to mind because I was just talking about it. But I can offline or put it in the chat, a way you might be able to start somewhere that leads to that door, I think. But also go for that dream too. Go for the big star. But in the meantime.
Well, John, when you reach that, don't forget about us, okay?
Yeah. When you're up there, when they send you as an ambassador, just.
Yeah, make sure that we have some VIP seats. We can go to.
So wonderful. Okay.
All right, John.
Go
you
ahead.
Justin.
All right, my turn. Okay. Well, Justin, I don't really know you, so let me think of a question here. Tell me about one of your greatest successes and tell me about one of your greatest failures.
Greatest successes and greatest failures. I'll go with my success. Then I'll try my greatest failure would be. So my greatest success is meeting my wife and traveling all the way around the world to get married. My greatest success and greatest failure. Hmm, Let me think about it for a minute. No, I don't know.
He doesn't have a lot of failure, John. That's
I don't really think about failure. So, uh,
well, that's actually interesting, John, because I've known Justin to be very optimistic. And I think, that's one thing that makes him become very successful with what he's doing right now, because he looks at everything as almost like just moving forward. And that's a good way of looking at life, that failure does not exist. It's almost just something that you just have to deal with, and you just keep moving forward, and you just look at the light at the end of the tunnel, right, Justin? Is that what I'm getting from what you're saying?
yes, no matter what happens, moving forward.
Yeah. Okay, Justin. So you have it's your turn now to ask the question. I'm the last one, I believe. I mean, you can even ask anybody else too if you want.
Okay, okay. I'll ask Jessica Powers.
Okay, Jessica, your turn.
Hi
So,
again.
this is a tough question or an easy question, but you wanted my contact information and I contacted you, but I never heard back from you.
And the question is why, right? Accountability, I love it. The honest answer is I overextended myself last week with some commitments, and that led me to have to disconnect over the weekend a lot to recoup. So that's the honest answer, is I overextended myself. But I appreciate that you took the time to actually give a personal phone call and leave a personalized message for me. That definitely, I was still remembering you and mindful of my follow-up list. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the directness and no fear to make phone calls when most people have apprehensions and can hide behind not having direct communication. And you were right on it with your follow-up. So it's both a commending you for it, and also an opportunity for me to grow with my own gaps.
All right.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about, follow-ups. Okay. Because I know every one of you is going after certain target market. And let me ask each one of you, what is your best way of doing follow-up? I'm going to start with James.
The best way of doing follow-up for me is I make notes of everything, just put it on a to-do list. Like every time that I get out of a call, I already set reminders on the calendar or everything, because if I can't rely on just my memory, so I'm like always using my phone to follow up. So that's the way that I do it.
Okay. All right. Good. John, what about you?
So I use the Sandler process for all sales interactions. So I have a very process-driven kind of way of taking notes during calls, and I always follow up on those tasks. I try to do it immediately after the call, but if I can't, it'll be like later that night or the next day.
Okay.
But one thing that I will say is that follow-ups, you always have to have a call to action, or you always have to have something that you're asking for or giving them, or something that drives the conversation forward.
Okay. Now, how do you spell Sandal process? Because she,
Sandler?
Jessica just typed it, Sandle.
Yeah, it's Sandler sales
Ah.
process.
Yeah.
Sandler's,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, Sandler.
Okay, all right. So keep
I
that in
love that.
mind, guys. What about you? Go ahead, Jessica, you were saying.
I was gonna contribute with being able to establish someone's preference for how to communicate with them. And then tie to what everyone else has said. Like if you can establish that right away, like as you're meeting with them, that helps. And then that way there's no confusion or rushing around or trying to, you just kind of find how they communicate the best. And that helps if you need to reschedule or, stuff comes up.
Okay. All right, and Eddie, what about you?
Normally, I'm pretty good about this because I was Sadler's trained way back when. I was the leading salesperson. But it's really a good system. But I'm the pits when it comes to my own process, my own system, because I'm still in the development stage. But if you could follow up and have an agreement, well, the Sadler system is pretty good. So let's say you do a demo. If I could do this and show you this, would you be interested? And then the follow-up system is, hey, I showed you X, and we agreed that you would do B. So let's close it. Let's have another meeting follow-up. So you have an upfront contract, not only for the demo, but as John said, the call to action, but you also have the agreement of the follow-up to what the action is going to be.
Okay.
So
Now, what about
anyway.
you, Justin?
Use a notepad.
Notepad?
All right.
If especially if there's a lot of people that I have to communicate, it's real easy to forget one person. I've been getting a lot of ambassadors trying to with me, and one called me today.
We're having trouble hearing the last part of what you
Yeah.
said. What did you say? The last part, we lost you.
The ambassador called me, and I was trying to figure out which one he was, because I talked to the ambassadors in conversation. I was trying to remember what conversation I had with him and which ambassador he was.
Okay, all right. So for me, let me ask all of you, because when you finish your conversation with someone and you pretty much have some action plans, right? After you have a conversation or in a meeting, do you guys follow up with an email, saying what you have discussed and what you have agreed upon? Do you follow it up with an email? Anyone?
I'm not consistent with it, but I definitely see the value of doing that because I'm pretty good about my own notes. But I think it also depends on the extent of what the follow-up is. Like if it's a full-on deal that I'm hashing out with someone versus just like, hey, I said I'd refer so-and-so. Like sometimes that can just be a quick text or a Facebook message. But I think it also goes back to what platform you're communicating on, because some can feel like a lot depending on what you talked about. But that's a nice touch. I think that's another layer of just like being top of mind.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah, I can tell you why that is actually a good one to include in your process, because I've had discussions with people where we have talked about this, and then the next conversation I've had with them is that it's totally outside what we talked about. So I think when you have had a discussion with someone, you have to, while you're writing it down as part of your notes, you also have to send an email and saying, thank you for the meeting. Based on our discussions, these are the things that we talked about. And if you think that, we are on the same page, If we're not in the same page, let me know. So at least you're confirming that, your understanding with your communication with the other person isn't, you're in the same page. Because there's so many miscommunication going on, and people expect you, let's say, after the meeting, you're expecting the person to deliver something, but they were not able to deliver it because they didn't understand, or they are in a different kind of understanding of what you guys have talked about. So it's always good to have a follow-up email, writing down what you have guys discussed. It's almost like minutes of your meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're getting confirmation from someone else, that yes, that's what we talked about. I agree with everything that you said, and these are the things that I'm going to deliver. And this is the time frame that I'm delivering it. So those are good practice for follow-up. Just keep that in mind. I know Eddie is pretty good in writing down a lot of information. And I work with Eddie, and there are times that he and I have, I have to keep up with what he's thinking, and he writes it down, and which is a lot easier to work with. Okay. So that would be something that, think about your process, your follow-up process. Really try and figure out that you're covering every basis of follow-up, because another thing that I think about when you're following up is how many times do you follow up? Do you follow up by email? Do you follow up by phone? Do you follow up by text? Do you follow up by social media? What are the things that you use? Because everybody's different. And maybe one way you could also talk to the person you're dealing with is that, what is the best way for me to follow up? Ask that question, because if they have a preference, that would be actually be more effective in connecting with them. Because if you like to do a phone call, and they don't like to be, they don't like a phone call, they'd rather want you to do a text message, or they'd rather, you send them an email. You need to ask them, what is the best way to follow up? And that's how you can effectively work with people too. Because if they tell you that that their preference is, let's say, email, then you complied to their preference of follow up. So if something falls out of that whole conversation, you can always say, well, you told me that this is your preferred communication, and I agreed, and I followed up with I followed your preference. So they will be more accountable if they are the one that have given you that information. Okay. All right. Well, I know you guys are amazing. All of you are amazing, very successful. And I wanted to also mention, before we move on to the business share time, I want to congratulate some of you here, especially Justin. Justin actually, maybe I should just let him share that on his business share. Okay, so let's just move on to the business share. On the business share, you can share your success story, your challenges, or your specific goals. So I will start with Justin. Go ahead, Justin.
So I have been truck driving for 7 years, and I wanted to take a couple months off to golf, and they wouldn't give me that time off. So I quit that company, and I went to golfers, and I met my wife through my best friend, and got married. So right now I'm going through the process to be coming here in about 6 to 8 months. And I came back to the United States, and within 4 days I got another truck driving job, and I started selling solar while I was truck driving. And I just quit that company, and this past week I have 5 leads, and if all of them sign through, I get $3,500 for each
Yes.
income to a month, but more is better.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's talking about hard work there, Justin. Awesome.
And now-
Okay. Go ahead, Justin. You were saying?
So So with that, that gives me more time to be able to take better care of my health and exercise, to learn new things and move on to other different type of income streams. So that way I don't have 70 hours or two committed to one job, and it kind of holds me back from being able to explore the other opportunities.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Justin. Okay, so let's move on to James.
So, are we sharing like either success or
Challenge or a
learning,
specific
right?
goal?
Challenges, stuff, right? Um, so I am trying to get disconnect myself from the appointment setting, and it's been very challenging. And I am trying to, recreate everything that I do and like just have every step, but it's hard. So I am trying to become more of a CEO instead of just an entrepreneur. And that's like my challenge right now of like bringing people that will stay and like creating all that leadership for myself and all like how to pass on my knowledge to these different areas. And that's my challenge right now.
Okay. All right. John.
So what am I talking about again?
We're on the business share time. Success, challenge, or goal.
Success, still closing more deals. I think I closed a logistics company today, so that's a good thing.
Awesome.
It looks like we might be getting to expand our contract with AYSO because the crazy COVID restrictions in California. They're trying to test every player that's 12 and up every single week. So that's going to end up being good for us if we get that contract. So that's good. I think that's really about it.
All right. All right, cool. Jessica.
My success would be I am getting more out there as far as like speaking opportunities and like visibility that way, where I haven't been doing as much before. So it's getting different invitations that in turn will like obviously like be good for marketing and my own PR and stuff. So you got to start somewhere, right?
Yes. All right. Okay, Eddie.
Hold on, I was multitasking. Let's see, success. Last week I've been working on setting up SalesBlink, totally bombed. So we're switching everything to Stovia, which is a pretty good system for cold email and finding people. It's got a good AI system. So we've been working on that, setting up a calendaring. Tomorrow I emailed you about this, Marie. We got a demo to the ex-VP of Coldwell Banker and Rub Analysis. He's a power guy. Has about 100 brokers or agents under him. And we got 3 other meetings, brokers. I guess my biggest challenge, do I want to try to sell a low price product, or do I want to sell yearly? Or do I want to ask for funds all in the same breath and close? And I don't know the right answer. So we're just going to throw spit at the wall and see what happens.
All right. Well,
Unless you have a better idea.
well, I'll have a separate meeting on that with you. I just need to understand what we're doing on that. Okay, sounds good. All right. For me, well, let me think. The radio show is actually doing really well. I'm gonna have my episode on September 19th, and I'm bringing Jessica. And I haven't heard from Jason. And this is like a fun episode to where I'll talk about what they love in their work. So I'm bringing them, and I'm also bringing in Corey Clark from the American Idol as co-hosting with me. So September 19th is when I am live. That's on Sunday at 3:00 p.m. Hopefully you guys will listen, and you can call in if you want, if you have any questions. you can call in and say, hey, Marie, there's a number that you can call, just listen to it and you'll get the number, okay? I think it's very interesting to be on a radio show where there's 5 million households that we're covering, and there's 83,000 listeners actively listening in the radio show. And so I'm always excited about that. And I need you guys to schedule yourself for the radio show because it will be great for them to understand what you do and really, listen about the benefits of everything that you offer. Okay, sounds good. Now, I know that Eddie, did you connect with John by any chance already?
We are after the call.
Oh, after the
Yeah.
call. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the two of you working together. And James, what have you connected so far from all the Fire Up Connect meetings that we've had? You're on a mute.
Whoever have I connected, or like how many people have I connected?
Yeah, who are the ones that you've connected to?
I connected with Jessica. Had a call with John. I had a call with like other people that are not here too. So like,
Okay, and are you getting some really good projects and clients from it?
no, not yet. No.
Not yet? Okay. Well, let me know how I can help you with that because, I think what you offer, again, I just need to understand exactly what you offer. So at least we could work together and see how we can implement some of your programs to, the people, because I know if it's valuable for them, they should really understand what it is. Okay. And we need to have that 30-minute Zoom interview. So we need to schedule that. You need to let me know when you're ready for that. Okay, and then Jessica, same thing with you. I haven't done the 30-minute video interview with you, so you have to let me know when that's gonna be available for you. And John, I have not done that too, right, with you? Yeah, so you guys are like, procrastinating on that. I need to schedule that with all of you, okay? Make sure that you call me and let me know what's the best time and we can talk about it. When I do my 30-minute Zoom interview, I really ask a lot of questions. So like the question I asked you, James, that's just one part of the question that you're gonna get from me. And I go deep with your business. And so that's what the 30-minute Zoom interview is about. Okay,
yeah,
so people,
that's something that I wanted to like, something that I could have help from you that, with if we can create interviews or that we can take and make it into like short videos and like for like content and stuff like that.
yeah,
that
you can do that once we create the 30-minute video. And if you wanted to do something else, I mean, you just have to let me know and we can work with some video editing. Like again, we were talking about intro video, and you guys don't have that because I have not seen any intro video about your business or about yourself. And I don't know, John. John, do you have an intro video for the virtual badge?
Yeah, we've got probably 30 videos on YouTube.
You see, look at that. That's amazing. Can you send us a link of your YouTube
I'm like,
video?
really? I want to see this. This
Yeah,
is
we want to
great.
see it. You should post it in the Fire Up Connect so we can, we see how it looks like.
You know what that reminds me of? You used to, when we were meeting in person, I remember you used to book this, and you might still do this, where it was like a whole day event where someone could get like, you remember it was like 7 different camera views or something, and like it was like a whole day where you could have outfit changes and
Oh yes, my photo shoot.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then, but you also could do the video.
Yes, I do that. I have to book that here in California, and I have to have at least 5 to 10 people that would participate on that because what I get is a high-end professional photographer and also a really good videographer. So I would do both and then set that up. But I need to have a lot of people because if it's just one, it's going to be very expensive. So I try to make it very affordable for the people that are involved. Okay. So, but I know that you guys are you're you're in Florida, you're in Puerto Rico, New York. I mean, I
I
don't know how I
mean,
can get
it's-
everybody. Unless we do like a 1-year reunion for and you guys have to all fly to California, and we can do like a 2-day event for Fire Up, and just do everything all together with the photo shoot, with the video, with the testimonials. We do it all in one shot. I think that will be a good project to do.
I mean, you have your event coming up, your seminar.
Well,
That
I'm
sounds
waiting
like
for this. I'm still waiting for the school to give me the permission, because they haven't told us that they will open their theater. So I keep pushing my date because I haven't heard from them. I think the CDC is just really kind of making it tighter for them. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it. But what what I would like to see happen is you guys come up with a project. John, James, Jessica, Eddie and Justin now. I mean, what would be a project that you would like to create through Fire Up Connect? Because remember, we created Halloween for Heroes. We have Turkeys for Troops, Aging Gracefully. What about technology, John? Is that something that you would like to create a project through Fire Up Connect, that we can create like an online event on technology, and then sign up some people that could, participate in explaining, or helping them on technology?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. That sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing that I have done when we created all these projects is, the first thing is, what will be the name of this event? And then from there, how would you see the program? What would be the program look like? And then who's going to be participating? So, and that's something that, if let's say James, Jessica, and Eddie are interested in being a part of this event, then, they need to talk to you about it and kind of work together and collaborating. That is what we're talking about, project collaboration through Fire Up Connect, because the people that worked on Halloween for Heroes, they met and they talked about how to implement that project. So it's the same thing, and it's going to be a yearly official event that we're going to be implementing through Fire Up Connect. That's something that you guys need to think about and decide, is this something that I wanted to do? And it's going to bring a lot of people for sure. So
that makes me think about there's a organization called Girls in Tech, which it's not just in San Diego, but there is a chapter there, and they used to do, I don't know how often they did this, but they still carried it forward virtually too, where they did a hackathon, and they partnered with, I mean, it doesn't have to look like this, but they partnered with probably local schools or something, where the students, it was driven towards like empowering women in tech, obviously, to pursue a tech career. So they had students like kind of get together to do this hackathon. I'm not techie enough to do something that's like out of my lane for that style of a project, but it was really successful because it also was like raising awareness towards something too, and different sponsorship opportunities. So it could look like that. And I'm in touch with, for example, that sort of community, but tech could be a lot of things too. Tech could be, we rely on tech. So like even associated industries around events, hosting events, the different programs people are using, like Agorapulse and different things like.
Well, just think about the type of businesses that you have right now. I mean, just think about it. This is a small group. And John is, of course, in the technology. James is in the PR. Jessica is in connecting people. And Eddie is in this real estate, economic data system. And Justin is in the solar. What would be something that would be, that would work as a project among you guys. This is something that, you know, people sometimes have a desire to educate people or to create a connection to their target market, and just figuring it out, what would that be? So something to, you know, to really, you know,
I'm honestly thinking about something around sustainability would like it like tech would just be it's just it just happens to be like the general thing we'd all be like connecting through. But I think there actually could be, even if it was just a 1-day event or some sort of thing where we came together as speakers or something, there probably is something educational focus that we could partner with a brand, because there's some things like education wise that are a yearly thing too with the fall, and education is one of those things that is where opportunities are too for
Yeah.
income.
well, just think
So-
about it. I mean, look at John's product, you know, look at Eddie's product, look at the public, you know, relations program of James, and your connection, Jessica, with the solar information. I mean, you can come up with a really amazing project. I remember San Marcos chapter at that time before COVID, they were thinking about doing an Olympic, it's almost an Olympic program for the students to bring their business ideas. And this is targeting the schools, but they were not able to implement it because they were thinking about all the negative things, and they weren't able to proceed. But you know, John is very very savvy. I mean, John, what do you think? Is that something that you guys can come up with?
Well, I want to say not right this second because I think I'm too busy right now, but in the near future, yeah.
Okay. So, and Jessica, maybe something that, you know, if you have the time and work with James and see what you guys can come up with, you know, because again, if you create a project and it becomes like an annual or a quarterly event, you know, or you know, twice a year, that would be a good thing to think about. It will give you visibility. James, especially you with the PR, that's going to set a great tone for your status, being the public relation, creating this kind of event. But you have to, and I will work with you on promoting it. But, you know, think about it. The more events that you create, the better. And I've done so many events in my life, and, you know, that's something that I can help you guys with. And come up with
I'm tracking. I like the idea of it, and like I have some things like coming to mind, but it's also, I think the tenor of the room is it's gonna there's a level of commitment to make, as you know, like planning and some of these things happen. So it might be it's a good seed to consider and start working towards.
Yeah.
But we're all kind of maybe in a place where we're still establishing some things before we can partner on something like that. But I love the idea of it.
Well, you know, you as a beginner, you can slowly create it, and there is no pressure on time. We just create. The first thing you need to do is the name of the event. Once you create a name, we create a chapter in FireUp Connect, and you guys will be managing that chapter to where you're talking about what's needed, how to create the program, when do you want to implement it, and when you're gonna, you know, what else do you need from it? Or are you gonna need sponsors? Are you gonna need advertisers? You know, things like that. And that's just a discussion. And if you decide to do this next year, that's fine. But at least you are creating something together. And you decide, okay, is this one, you know, if James wants to be a part of this, then he, you know, he will start talking to you, Jessica, or, you know, and John, if he's available later, he can join and start working with you guys. That's how you do the project. And I think, you know, as being a member of FireUp Connect, you want to take advantage of that, because I will be able to help you implement those with everything that I have done. You know, again, I've done so many events to where I can help you create these events for you. Okay, but you guys,
the event is like what I'm hearing, it's kind of like the event is like the fast track way to like, and in some ways, like project event feels bigger than just working at a project. So some of us are like, event
but
is like a much bigger thing,
yeah,
but
it
a
does. It
project,
doesn't really take that much. It's just a matter of really taking the steps one at a time and really understanding the
right?
process. And it doesn't have to be a big project. It can be a small project that could turn later on a big project. But it can start with small. Like again, we
Well,
did.
actually, like something really easy that I've actually been wanting or working towards, uh, working more with Clubhouse and seeing what visibility and stuff has been coming from the platform. And I know that you just recently joined the platform. So
Yeah.
it actually could be that simple where I've already been, that just came to me right now, actually.
Yeah, but the
That could
Clubhouse
actually,
is a different, that's their platform. We're talking about an event through Fire Up Connect.
well, right, right. And so being that we also are not in the same like areas to like physically meet up, I've just, there's some opportunities where people are doing like 24-hour events
Yeah,
on Clubhouse, being like it's just the platform that they're using for the event or the thing.
yeah,
But what I'm trying to say is it could also be a low pressure way to start with a project that involves us bringing visibility to each other as experts
yes,
with
yes.
hosting a room or a topic or
Well,
a networking thing.
yeah, that's how the Halloween for Heroes started. It was actually an
Mhm.
idea by a realtor who wants to connect with the military families. And then everybody else kind of worked with that. And they came up with the name Halloween for Heroes. And then they started with 50 families only. And they came up with, I think, each pumpkin cost like maybe $7, $9 at that time. And they just raised the money and they came up with $1,000 and they gave that pumpkin to the families. But what happened is they had a lot of social media content that was going out there with their names and their information. Then when they did the event, they were able to connect with a lot of the families. And so now a big school here is actually wanting to be involved, sponsor the Halloween for Heroes because they wanted to connect with the military families. And now they're willing to give money to the Halloween for Heroes. You see how that works? So if you
Mhm.
with something similar to that, something small, it doesn't have to be a big one. It can be like a 20 attendees, you know, you just, as small as that is fine, but it's still a project that you can have a name and that you guys organize it and that we will be able to push it every 6 months or every year, whatever you guys wanted to do. Your names are going to be in there. If you go to the Fire Up, I'm going to send you a link where I promote all the events, and it's called the Fire Up Events. And the Fire Up Events has all the events that we actually push out. And if you create a project, it will be also included in there.
Mhm.
And your logos and your picture will be also in there where they can click on your bio and they will know who you are right away. And that's something that will add more exposure for your business.
Well, I'm definitely open to like what even more so is like experiences. We've been to events and different annual things that we like and look forward to. So
Yeah.
I like the idea that we could also promote, we have the opportunity where we could also create something like that
Yeah.
kind of experience.
Okay.
So it's just it's what it points to is getting to also make those calls to get to know each other too, of like,
Yes.
do I actually want to work and partner with you on this thing?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's good. It's a good conversation to have in thinking towards what's possible, but
Yeah.
also a push to be like, and also
Well,
if you haven't got to know each other.
I think, if you have an idea already of what you like, Jessica, and also James for you, and John maybe later, I think it would be worth, having a separate meeting and just talk about it. And then when we have our meeting, just let me know or make an announcement that you guys have agreed that you're gonna do this kind of event. And that will be one of the success that we can come up with through Fire Connect, is for you guys to create a project that you can collaborate, and you'll know more about each other's business, because you're gonna have more discussion on how to create this project, and then what you're gonna offer as part of that project. What do you think, James?
I definitely wanna, like, I know that I have to get to that level to like be doing events and speaking in these events and like giving my expertise that way, because it could be a great way to educate multiple people at the same time, instead of just doing like one-on-one, and then take it there like from one-on-ones, if like from there. So definitely could be a great way to funnel a lot of people, like, and I would like to definitely, like, I want to do it.
Well,
I
here's an
I
idea,
cannot
James.
decide, on like exactly, and then put it like 2 months away, so we can like 2 months just kind of
Yeah.
like. all
Here's an
do it.
idea. Eddie, are you still there?
I'm actually typing, so yeah. I was-
Okay, Eddie, I'm thinking,
How new
Eddie,
technology? Go ahead, I'll shut up.
I'm
okay?
I'm thinking that you should connect with Jessica and James on creating a project, because you need to be on a speaking stage with with a lot of people, right? What if you work with Jessica and James in creating a project where you're gonna be one of the speakers?
Well, I'm actually working on that option right now. So
Hey,
one of the
cool.
options could be how new technology could help City X.
There you
So
go.
how new technology can help Temecula. And what the heck, we all talk about new technology in Temecula, whatever city we're in. That's one option. I thought,
Yeah.
I'm just brainstorming.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And then Justin, you being in the solar industry, I mean, you could also be a part of this whole project where you're able to either be available to speak on solar, or at least offer solar during the project event. So that's something that you can think about. So again, this is an opportunity, James. James, if you work with Eddie and Jessica and Justin, you guys can come up with an amazing project. Brainstorm on the name. The first thing is the name of this event. Once you're able to put it together, you guys are gonna soar. I mean, you're gonna shine really, really well. So that's one thing I wanted to just make sure that you can think about. So when we come back on our next meeting next week, let me know if you're able to come up with a name. It's a simple task. Come up with
I
a name
have
for a
something to
project.
say, maybe we can think of. I feel like if we do it about self-improvement, and then we take different avenues from it, I think that could work.
Yeah.
So I think, I just want to say that
Well,
before.
talk to Jessica and Eddie and John if you guys wanted to have a separate meeting and just brainstorm. Give yourself some time to think about it, so at least you have some notes that you can share when you guys have your own meeting. And if you can even do an email and say, hey, here's my idea. What do you think? You can start with an email, and then so people can start writing their thoughts, and then have a meeting and talk about it and see if you can come up with an agreement. That is part of having a good business collaboration and really benefiting each other's business. Think about this: your faces are going to be on this events. You're going to get massive exposure for putting this event together, because you guys are the brain, the mastermind of this event, and you're going to be the organizer, and that is a high value for a lot of people, knowing that you guys created this event. So think about that. Okay. All right. Well, I think we are 1 minute away. Am I right? Look at my Okay, so we're 1 minute away. We are good. Thank you so much for your time. I think this is a good brainstorming time for us. And let me know by next Tuesday what you guys have come up with your project. I mean, and whatever you guys come up with, I'm good. And it looks like Eddie is already starting out already. Okay, sounds good. Well, have an amazing weekend. I mean, are we weekend? No, week. And I will see you on Friday. Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Okay, with Jessica hosting it. Is that right, Jessica? You're the one who's hosting? Okay, perfect. And invite people, please. So we'll have a great, time meeting other people too. Sounds good? Save your chat.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Guys. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.